Hey guys, it's always a crazy morning when you get a text message from Pete. You remember him? We did his Supra, plus he helped me find the Model T. Apparently, he just picked up a Ford Focus RS500, incredibly rare car, and then texted me and said, hey dude, you gotta come over. I'm making a mess in my backyard. Who knows what's going on? Let's go check it out. Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this episode. More on this later. All right, this is the back of Pete's building. It's like, where's Waldo? Pete! You are crazy. Now I know why it's so dirty.
Yeah, man, it's my playground.
Ah, all right.
Yeah.
So?
Came over to Petey's Playhouse.
This is unreal.
Yeah, this is cool.
All right, tell me a little bit about what's...
So this is pretty neat. This is one of 500. It's a Ford Focus Mark II, but this particular one has been juiced up a little bit. She makes 536 horsepower and 476 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a 6-speed gearbox. It's front-wheel drive. So, and it's got some serious torque steer. So if you decide you want to go straight, the wheel better be straight, because if it's cocked sideways, it's going straight anyway.
All right, I'm dying. Can
it's
I go
cool.
for a ride?
Hop in, man. Come on, go for a rip. You know what they say? Buckle up, son. It's one of my rules. You know, you used to go and get arrested for doing burnouts in your parking lot.
Yeah.
I can go to my own parking lot.
You
do
certainly have
burnouts, spin outs, anything I want. Yeah. So I'm pretty lucky, man. BSF Racing was able to bring this car into the country. Right. Okay. Of course, it's brought in under a racing rule. And we're going to race it in some rallies in the United States and have some fun right here on the property. It's got a 5-cylinder Ford Duratec motor, which is basically Volvo based too, and I believe Yamaha was involved in its production and its manufacturing. This particular one's got a nice roll cage in it. It sits on KWVRs all the way around, nice big Brembo brakes, and I love getting it dirty, man.
I know, I can see that, yes.
This particular one comes with a factory wrap. Underneath here is a gloss black.
Oh yeah, you probably see it in the door jams.
So there we
go.
So we're gloss black underneath. But this was done at the factory like that.
Wow.
So the wrap is now, the cars are 2010. So she's sitting on 15 years of a wrap. So I don't know what you're going to be able to do. I know you're a master with everything. But when it comes to this, it's going to be a challenge, I believe, to clean this one up.
We'll take it apart. We'll clean it up so that you can then get it messy again.
Yes, and I will do that immediately.
Show me the building.
All right, cool. Come on in, check it out. We've got 26,000 square feet. Upstairs here is going to be all exotic. Indoors.
Oh my gosh, I'm looking at
we got 12 acres in back here. That's where the racetrack is. And this is this up here is a little over 13,000 square feet, and it's all auto storage.
Wow.
And we're going to do a an event center. It's both heated and air conditioned, of course. Yeah. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be part of the destination location.
How many cars can you fit here?
I can fit 90 cars in here comfortably. We got a huge parking area. Again, we probably could put close to 3,000 cars here at any one time for an event. So that's the kind of coolest thing that I find that nobody has a place like this. It's a full car mecca. In here, we got a couple of my cars in here right now.
Whoa.
Been filling up.
What is this?
Oh, you like this?
This is awesome.
Yeah, you can hear in the background I got stuff going on.
Yeah, man, you're building.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my buddy just dropped this off a couple days ago.
Where was it?
It was in a barn up in Cape Cod for like 25 years.
Oh,
and it's got suicide doors, right?
Oh.
This is the same thing Mr. Kennedy was driving that day.
Yes.
It's really dirty though.
Oh, dude, there's an 8-track in there.
Yeah, in the dash.
In the dash?
Yeah. It's got a monster motor, a 462 V8, So I bet you that thing just immediately sucks fuel, man. It must go right down. Probably gets about 3 miles a gallon. You see how wide it is?
We're doing this one. This one looks awesome.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Pete, your building is absolutely amazing. We're super pumped to be here when it finally opens, but I can see what's happening, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, a vision that just has come to life after so many years.
Yeah.
You work your whole life for something like this, and this is it. My real big playhouse. I mean, this is the ultimate playhouse for a guy.
It's like an amusement park.
It is. It's going to be my amusement park, outside and inside.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So why don't we load up the RS in the trailer? We'll bring it over, okay? And we'll get you to clean her up again.
Yeah,
all right?
man.
Thanks,
buddy.
brother.
I appreciate
I'll see you.
If you want to see a full tour of the facility, watch the behind-the-scenes video of Pete's building on the Ammo Studio channel. I'll put a link down in the description. With the RS under the lights in the studio, you can tell she's quite dirty from Pete's playground, but the matte paint cleanup and its preservation is my goal. All right, this is exciting. The 500 just got delivered. Look at this thing, complete mess. But before I get into actually cleaning it, I do need to eat some food. And for that, I'm going to be eating Factor. And side note, good thing I didn't eat beforehand. I probably would have thrown up inside. But of course, you guys know Factor is my lunch of choice. Why? I don't have to go out and wait in line. That's opportunity cost of time. It is less expensive. And the big one, it tastes better and it's better for you. So we're going to get this thing cleaned up. It's got matte paint. I got to be a little bit on my game here and make sure I don't scratch anything. So let's head up and get some Factor. You know what it smells like? It smells like success. That smells like calories. That smells like a clean car. That was so good. Now, the really cool part about Factor is they have 35 plus options and 45 plus add-ons, and they have smoothies. I love my smoothies. I actually put it right over there, and in between detailing, I pound it. It tastes really great. Plus, they have things like keto, calorie smart, chef's choice, vegan, and my favorite, Protein Plus. Head over to factor75.com or click the link down below and use code AMMO50 to save 50% off your first Factor box. Plus, get 2 free wellness shots from 3 available flavors while you're an active subscriber. Now, let's get back to work. Step 1 is to put her on the lift to remove the wheels and power wash everything on the undercarriage. Okay, at this point, we power washed the underneath and the wheel wells. And the reason that we did that is there's no matte paint underneath there. So we can go in there, use a lot of pressure, knock off a lot of the dirt. I didn't do that on the outside. Here's why. Because it's factory matte paint. If I go in and power wash it, if it was PPF, I could probably get away with that. Because it's matte PPF, what we call wrap, right? What happens is as you're power washing that, you could actually scratch it. If you scratch the matte wrap, then I can't actually polish it out. So it's kind of like I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. So underneath, power wash, then we're gonna use Boost and foam, go underneath there and get all the salt and the sand and all that off. Totally normal, but on the outside, we're gonna pre-soak it. We're gonna let that kind of soften up and hopefully the soap will carry that away and less of me power washing it and certainly less of me agitating it. So it's a little bit of a different technique, especially when you're dealing with either matte paint or in this case, matte wrap on top of clear paint. So here's the process. Fill this bad boy up, bunch of Boost, just like we normally would. I'm really gonna let that undercarriage soak. And then we're gonna do the same thing on the outside of the paint as well. Lots of soaking on this one just to kind of keep the integrity of number 302 out of 500. Don't have a lot of opportunity to have, we can of course always rewrap it, but kind of loses its originality. And so this little extra step doesn't take, what, an extra 2 minutes? Just to kind of give yourself a little bit more leeway. Trying to polish out a matte wrap is very, very difficult while still keeping it matte. Step 2 is to allow Boost anti-salt additives to dissolve and dislodge the remaining dirt before giving it a healthy scrub. As you can see, after power washing a second time, my floor was completely caked with mud. As a final step underneath, I used compressed air to find any last trapped or hidden pockets of mud and dirt. For the sensitive matte wrap, I pre-soaked the material first with Brute and Boost again and let it sit for about 5 minutes or so as it gently carried away about 80% of the mud without agitating or touching the sensitive surface. Now check this out. This is a perfect example as to why we pre-soak the paint, especially if it's matte wrap or matte paint itself. Look, it's carrying the dirt away. Normally you think you'd go in and just power wash it. You could probably get away with that, but if you were to scratch it, I can't get it out. That's kind of the whole thing here. So when we do a pre-soak, it's on really soft paint, or if you have matte paint or matte wrap, and it's, look at this. It's carrying it all the way. There's no way that that's scratching. Look at the lubrication. So we're gonna give it 5 or 6 minutes. Then once most of it's carried away, we'll power wash it and then get into a regular wash. With the paint now marinating, I focused on the disgusting wheels with the same exact process, but this time I used plum and wheel brushes to get into the spokes. After the wheels, I power washed the wrap for the very first time. All right, guys, after the pre-soak, normally I would do my regular wash, but I want to show you a few things before we get into that. First, look at the hood. There's no beading whatsoever, so we're going to put a coating on this afterwards, and you can actually do that on a matte wrap. Second, normally I would just lift the engine and go in and do a regular wash. I tried to do that, and we couldn't figure it out. All the directions in the manual are in German, but we ended up figuring it out here. Check this out. You open this little thing, slides open, and then you have number 1 and number 2, and I was like, well, wait a second, where's the key? Of course, you got to pull this little lever, pop out that, and now let's go to the left first, right? That's the first pop, and then you have to hold it and then lift it, and I was like, oh, we finally figured it out, which is super cool. I really dig this thing. I've never seen that before. And then, of course, revealing the big power plant here. So we have to go in and clean all of this in a regular wash. That's next. Now that the paint is in what I would call the safe zone, I performed a regular wash at this point with ammo foam, a blue microfiber wash towel, and of course a brush for the tight spots. These products and all of my specialized formulas can be found at ammonyc.com. Now, if you're absolutely crazy about your car, you think it's part of your family and it's who you are as a person, then join your fellow fanatics here. We believe the better your car looks, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more possibilities you have. As always, guys, thank you to everyone who believes in and supports our daily mission, one car at a time. For the baked on brake dust and the calipers, I used ammo plum and a towel, and it came right off. After a quick dry with compressed air and a towel, it was now time to polish the non-wrapped trim with a 1-inch foam pad and exfoliate, and the before and after was just massive. At this point, I need to preserve the original matte wrap so that it stays valuable as 1 of 500, in this case 304 of 500. To do that, I wiped with a 50-50 isopropyl alcohol and water mixture, then I applied Reflex Pro 2 to half the hood. As a quick example, look at the difference from left to right. The wrap is still matte, but the depth is significantly better without increasing the gloss. So Jordan and I protected the entire wrap without polishing and ruining that matte finish and texture. I also added Gelée Pro wheel coating to the calipers and the wheels due to its higher chemical and heat resistance. While Reflex was curing, I quickly cleaned the doors with ammo lather, an interior brush, and the steam machine, because who knows where this or Pete have been. Like I said, he's a wild man, so I just blasted everything to kind of start from a solid baseline. For the Alcantara, I'm using shag, fabric, and upholstery cleaner, then gently scrub the cleaner deep into the fibers. Afterwards, I use the steam machine to increase its cleaning strength, and then add a bit of moisture and some heat to open up that material before going in and steam vacuuming the newly lifted dirt. If you look closely in the see-through head, the grime being removed is not brown. It's sort of like yellowish. That tends to be associated more with sweat, especially in seats. Now, if you're like me and you're wondering if there's any similarities between sweat and urine, well, there are. Both consist primarily of water, but the water content in urine is not as high as it is in sweat, which makes sense. Both, however, contain waste products, but the urine has a higher concentration of urea. Nonetheless, by removing either one from your car's interior, it's just going to smell better by its absence. After installing the wheels, cleaning the glass with Obey, and adding mud tire dressing to the rally car, it was ready for the show. And as you would expect, Pete dropped by to check in on his baby, driving yet another wild car with a subtle exhaust.
I think I hear Pete. That's the way you make an entrance.
What's
right
happening,
there,
man?
buddy. What's going on? This thing looks amazing.
Yeah, so she's all done.
What's the story behind this?
Well, this is an RWB Porsche. It's a 964. You know, they start out as a narrow body car, and then Nakai comes from Japan, and he pulls out his sawzall and starts cutting your car apart. You know, and we tarted it up a little bit. We did some specialty gauges. We had these done by North Hollywood Speedo, and they put the RWB logo in there. And then my buddy did these really cool tartan seats.
Oh yeah.
I'll show them to you. Check them out. And then we put the logo right in the top of the seats too. We did a white roll bar in it. She's got all brand new 993 turbo brakes all the way around, and you know, pretty neat, right?
The seams are cool.
Yeah, they came out good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Color's
Paint looks
good.
nice.
Yeah.
But this one doesn't have any mud on it. Do you want to see the one that is now?
I usually like bringing something a little dirty to you, right?
Let's go check out the 500.
Let's check it out. Holy cow.
Crazy,
it's a lot
right?
better than it was, huh? Oh my God. I gave you a muddy monster, and now I got a clean monster back.
You should have seen how much mud came out. Crazy from every crevice and seam underneath.
Sure.
But more importantly, check this out. So the paint itself, matte finish.
Right.
Looks really cool. Obviously factory, installed from Ford, so it's kind of important for the 500.
Sure.
The interesting thing about matte paint is I can't polish it, because if it was regular, like shiny shiny wrap, I could polish it. Since it's matte wrap, which is hard to say, if there's any scratches on it, which is a rally car, which you would expect on matte finish, you can't do anything with it because you would make it shiny in the polishing, thus defeating the purpose. So the thing I had to do was actually put a coating on it. You can feel it's actually quite slick now, but it retained its matte finish, but there's a lot more depth to it.
Right on.
So that's the idea here. So we can either replace the wrap,
right?
Or
Well,
keep it original.
You remember, we're going to end up putting sponsor stickers on it, and we're going to have a bunch of other, livery on it. So I was hoping that now that we've got the exterior prepared as amazing as you did here, the next step is we'll put the wrap on there, and maybe when we pull it off, it won't look terrible.
Meaning like the numbers and stuff? Yeah, it'll be fine. The thing is, when let's say you're going through, the woods or whatever, and it gets scratched and you have a number 5, I'm making it up, right? So the number 5 will protect it. If you pull the 5 off, you'll see the inverse. There won't be any scratches. So that's the only thing that you would need to keep track of. But at the end of the day, it's a wrap. You can pull it off, pull it back on.
Kill it. Well, then again, it is a wrap, but this was a factory wrap.
Yeah.
One of 500 ever done.
So
it's a pretty rare car. It's the only one in the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to kind of keep it as original as possible. The wheels came out amazing.
Yeah, we spent a lot.
What the hell did you do with the wheels?
Yeah, we spent a lot of
time.
They
were black, but
we polished them out there. Let me show you
the
the front though. This is kind of interesting. When we first put water on the wrap, it just sat there. It didn't really go anywhere. So now with the coating on, check this out. We get the power washer. Just see a little bit of water. I'll dry this off afterwards, but you can see the beading.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, dude, I'm gonna be
Night
racing.
and
I'm
day.
gonna be racing through some puddles, and it's gonna blow right off.
that's the idea.
That's
Now
cool.
you get it all muddy and do your thing, and you do your peat. I call it. We're gonna do a peat. That's the new thing now.
You know what happens then?
Yeah. So
It's back here again.
we do a peat. Now you can go in, power wash it 2 seconds
That's awesome.
later. It's good
Yeah,
to go.
no, that's
so
good
that's a
because
big difference.
we need to do that in between stages anyway, because we try and take off some weight rather than put on weight.
Right, and you probably want the sponsors to be a
Yeah,
little bit
yeah,
more
sure.
visible, etc. We're done with this, but I wanted to ask you, the Lincoln, is that up for grabs? Can I clean that too, you think?
Absolutely, man.
All right, I'm dying
You know,
to
that
see
one
what
we
I
could drive on the road too. This one here we have to truck back.
Yeah, that might be a little
unfortunately.
easier to play with, but I'm pretty pumped.
And
Let's
that
get
one is like 7.5 feet wide. I'm telling you, you come down the road, people know you are there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm excited. Clean that one up. It'd be great.
Let's do it. All right, guys, well, that's it. As always, thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.